Hey there, welcome back, roguelike fans. Let's get back into this game. Gotta remember to press load game and not enter. Okay, where are we? Dungeon level 4. We are character level 4. We have a long sword scale mail. That's right, we're doing pretty good. I forgot. Let's see if we can keep this thing going. Maybe we can win this one, if not the last one. Leave that gold for the moment. Oh, I missed the sound. It bugs me. That's a hobgoblin by the kobold. That's a wisp. I don't remember if I mentioned this or not. The wisp can teleport randomly. Has a 1 in 6 chance, I think, every turn of teleporting. Interesting. We did 11 damage. Okay, so that tells me something I didn't know before. So apparently by version 2, which we'd be in now, we added in the ability for strength to do bonus damage, because the longsword can only do 1 to 8. I don't know how it functioned in this version. I'm gonna guess based on the current version that there's a chance every time you hit you do bonus strength damage. In the current version of the game, if we extrapolate, this strength 4 here would be equivalent to strength 40 in Caverns 2. In that case, it would be a 40 out of 300 chance of doing bonus damage, and the amount of damage you could do would be 1 to, in this case, 1 to your strength. I don't know if it is 4 out of 30 in this game chance, because of strength 4, of doing 1 to 4. I guess it's probably 1 to 4 extra damage, but it might be 4 out of 10 chance, in which case raising a strength is actually a much more valid tactic in this version of the game than it would have been in, say, Caverns of Xaskazien version 1.13, where raising your strength in that version would only affect how much gold you can carry. That's interesting to know. So I guess there's another improvement to this version of the game as opposed to the earlier version. There's a lot of changes made from 1.13 to 2-ish, it seems. If the sound was present in this, I think I'd be quite fond of this version. Lack of sound drives me nuts. There's that wisp. Let's take care of it while we can, since we know where it is. We've almost got it. Alright. Tearing that thing down. And we're 1 point away from leveling up. Let's kill a kobold to get that 1 point. There we go. Let's take health. Oh, good, we got 10 out of that. That's the best you can do, is 5 to 10 every time you level up your health. Oops, damn it. Moving too fast, but it doesn't matter. It's only 10 gold pieces, so strength is irrelevant for this purpose. Oops. Have the max cycle still going. That helps out. For DOS box. Oops. What's up here? Nothing's up here. I don't think there were any secret doors in this version of the game. I really don't know. If there were, in Caverns of Xaskazien 1, I think secret doors were always visible. It just had a chance. It might have been a 1 in 6 chance. Pardon me. You could walk through it. Back in the day, it's not the case anymore. You actually have to find secret doors in Caverns 2, but back then they were fully on visible. They were just harder to walk through, kind of like heavy doors, but they didn't use your strength. I think it was literally a 1 in 6 chance. Eventually, it would also use your intelligence to pass through. Do we need this yet? No, God, no. It's hard to say what is in this version. I mean, I really don't know. Oh, apparently there's altars. How do they work? Okay, here's the thing with altars. Pardon me. I'm congested for some reason. in the earliest versions of Cavern. Okay, here, well, we have time. We're walking around an empty level. I'm going to tell you a story. Gather around, children. Way back in the day, before I was long before I was coding this, when I was a young buck, a young teenager, I discovered the random dungeon tables at the back of the Dungeon Master's Guide, the first edition Dungeon Master's Guide for D&D, and I had grabbed that and grabbed some other tables I found in Dragon magazines and other magazines I had, and then I made my own tables and extrapolated and made this elaborate solo RPG that I could play D&D by myself, and had all kinds of rules about things you could encounter. I think I've told this story before in a Moria playthrough or something, but talked about this. I'm not going to talk about it too in depth right now, but one of the things you could encounter via those random tables was an altar. And the altar in that pen and paper, essentially a pen and paper roguelike that I'd made, when you went to use an altar, you all kinds of things could happen. The old mantra with one of the old concepts at work in Caverns, which I've long since abandoned because I realized it was a faulty concept, was the idea that anything should be able to happen. It occurred to me, certainly back in the day when I was making that pen and paper RPG, pen and paper solo RPG, that if you went to an altar, it wouldn't necessarily only serve one purpose. It wouldn't only be for praying. You could search it and maybe find something in it. You could find a scroll. You could find gold. You could find a potion, blah, blah, blah. So the old idea with when I first sat down when I started adding fixtures and features to Caverns, oops, I went to the wrong place. I went to go to the temple, was to say that squares should be able to do anything. If you went to an altar, you should be able to find a scroll. You should be able to pray at it, or all kinds of crap. But the problem with taking that philosophy that anything should be able to happen, which is kind of a throwback to a classic RPG where you don't know what's going to happen. There's not set hard and fast rules of this is what can happen at this location. It's if you find a fountain in an RPG and you drink at it, you don't know what's going to happen, I guess, if it's a kind of a wild RPG. But the problem with adopting that attitude that anything can happen is that everything gets sort of homogenized and washed over. I mean, what's the difference between an altar and a fountain? If you say anything can happen, well, can you find a scroll at a fountain? Can you find a scroll at a staircase? Eventually everything becomes the same thing. So you have to start specializing squares, I realized, to make them have actual different specific limitations to what they can do, or else they're all the same thing. So all this by way of saying, for that altar, there was a version of the game where altars worked exactly like they did in my pen and paper game. Like I literally took out my old notebook and whatever was possible in that game, I made possible in Caverns at the time. Because I figured, what the hell, I've already done that work. Why not, just transcribe it? We have no spells we can cast before we go down, right? That'll hold over? No. So we might as well just go on down. And then I had that epiphany that doesn't make sense, and I changed it. So the fact that it says pray at altar there may indicate that you can only pray. I don't know. Eventually, altars became a place you could pray, and it would heal you back to full. Possibly at risk of dying, like possibly at risk of the gods turning on you. I don't know. Again, without the access to the paperwork that would have accompanied this game once upon a time, I really don't know what that altar would have done. But it might have healed us all the way, or it might have been the old, roll dice and consult this table kind of thing where you can find a scroll or get healed or blah, blah, blah. I don't know. With our scale mail and longsword, we're doing all right here for combat. I should still, again, I'm being reckless. I should still be searching. Frack. Just because we're doing all right doesn't mean, here we got 4. See, we get an extra experience point out of this goal because we raised our strength, in addition to doing bonus strength now. Yeah, I should still not be reckless. I should still abide by the same concepts and look around for potions to elevate our opportunities. That was a bugbear, right? If I remember correctly, a bugbear's special ability is if it hits you the first time, it gets a free second swing. That's the way it works in Caverns 2. I don't know if that's the way it worked back then or not. It's dead either way now. That's a dead bugbear. Yeah, I really don't know what else we're going to find in this. I didn't know altars were in this version of the game. It's kind of cool. Chests, coffins, fountains, pools. I don't know what else we'll find. Don't drink that. I gotta slow down a bit though. I'm like charging along here. Just a little too fast, and I'm gonna step on gold again and accidentally pick it up and be mad at myself. For the record, in the current game, Caverns of Xaskazien 2, if you step on gold, it's not an automatic pickup. It gives you the option of, do you want to pick this up? But the limitation of how much you can carry based on strength remains. Although gold in that game is keyed to depth. So on the first level, you can only find 1 to 10 gold pieces. On the second level, you can find 2 to 20. On the third, you can find 3 to 30, etc. in a pile of gold. Or maybe it's even 1 to 30, I don't remember. Okay, let's deposit our gold. So if you step on more now, we're not just totally wasting it. But let's keep looking for strength potions, etc. Not yet, we don't need that yet. Oh, that would be a riddle, presumably. That's supposed to be lips. So I think if we step on there, we have a chance equal to, like, it rolls 1 die 10, or rather, it picks a random number from 1 to 10 and compares it with our intelligence. And if it's equal to or less, we get something out of it, I think. Let's keep looking around. Nah, let's step on it. You try to answer the riddle, but fail. And it disappears, as you can see. Sorry. Oh, son of a bitch. Told you I'm moving too fast. New spell. Nullify Traps spell. How much does that cost? There's one more we can cast. It costs 1 spell point. It'll remove pit traps and booby traps and that, so we can go cast... Whoops, I'm just trying to walk around. So we can go cast that next to that... go stand next to that... this thing. Actually, let's grab the gold first, because I don't know if Nullify Traps is 100% successful. It might be like 50% successful. But we don't need any healing spells, so we'll go stand next to those crossed swords, and we'll cast the spell 3 times. And if there's any hope of it failing, hopefully it won't fail. And we'll find out if that's a booby trap or if it's something else. Deposit the gold. We're 1 experience shy of leveling up. Alright, cast. Nullify Traps. All traps around you have been disarmed. Okay, apparently it's 100% successful. Let's assume it is. It's not 100% successful. That's a lie. Damn it. Alright, well, at least we know. It doesn't really hurt us because we can grab this health potion right now. But there we go. So it's not 100% successful. It might be 50% successful. In the current game, the spell is 50% successful. Just so you're aware. No harm, no foul. Freaking grubbling at this depth. This will be the last depth we'll find them at. Alright, we're up a level. Well now. What do we want? I think I might go 1 more strength, actually. Now that I know it does bonus damage and allows you to pick up extra gold. 5's a good place to go because that means half of the time that we find gold, we're going to find it all, right? It's still in this game, it's still 10 to 100 with every gold piece you pick up, or every gold square you pick up. That's a thief. Thieves, if they in this game, if they happen to be next to gold, like if they're directly adjacent to gold, they will deviate their path and pick it up instead of you getting it. but they won't go out of their way to find it. In Caverns 2, if they can see it, they will ignore you and go for it. At least in the next version coming out. I don't know if that's true in the older versions. Damn it. Stupid pit trap. Let's try and get that wisp. Oh, it's gone. Oh, damn it. Die, wisp. Die, accursed fiend. One less to worry about. Don't need that health potion yet, so we'll leave it there for now. God damn it, I'm moving too fast. I only got 50 out of it. Where is that temple? Where's that temple when you need it? Zombie. That's a zombie, by the way. I didn't mention it before because I recognized it instinctively and it didn't occur to me to mention it. That's a zombie. There was a skeleton we killed earlier too, if you couldn't tell what it was. God damn. Sorry, there's a fruit fly buzzing around my head, pissing me off. So it is an attack of 5. With our scale mail, it only has a 20% chance to hit us. It does 1 to 4 damage. It's slow. It has 10 hit points. We have a 50% chance that we should be able to kill it. Like, this shouldn't be much of a contest, to be honest, but let's keep looking around in case there's a freaking dexterity potion. I mean, what else are we going to do with it? If you killed all the monsters on the level and there's a dexterity potion, we learned the death spell. Might be worth getting our intelligence up now. If we can get it up to, what? Still 9? Death. Death is 9. If we can get our intelligence up to 9... I just pressed escape. We'll have the ability to cast that spell, which would be plenty useful. Maybe we'll start trying to average things out. Maybe I'll get my intelligence up a bit, and then we'll worry slowly about raising other stuff. It's gonna be a while before we get that death spell going in any event. I'm sure of that. Die, zombie. Alright, you're dead. Go gather the rest of the gold. Starting with this in case there's a potion beyond it. How we fixed for time? Another 12 minutes or so. Oh, there we go. Let's take intelligence. Get a few more spell points anyway. One more spell point. 20 gold pieces. Cheap. Well, once again, we really have nothing to cast. We don't have any long-term spells, right? Nothing that holds over, like to cast before we go to a new level, like armor or brawn. If anybody recognizes the speed spell, that's Ultima 4, I think, introduced the same concept that there were 26 spells, each keyed to one letter of the alphabet. And they used, for their haste spell, they used speed. So that's why I adopted that. Yes, let's go down to dungeon level 7. And find some monsters and stuff. Gold. Gold. Wisp. Oh, hey. These guys I will go out of my way to kill when I get the chance, because you might not get a chance otherwise. They just keep teleporting away from you. They're very annoying. There's another one over there. And is dead. Another ward. That ward is somewhat decently placed. At least it might theoretically block a monster. They didn't prove that useful back in the day. They're very useful in Caverns 2 now. Because they're more strategically placed by the level generator. Not to mention the fact that there's an inscribe ward spell that allows you to create them. Not in this game, though, I don't think. That's a curative potion. And a zombie. And the zombie's dead. Not having too many problems with the monsters right now. We're doing alright. There's a goblin. Again, let's just keep looking, though. What if you find a dex potion? I mean, we don't need it to kill that thing, but it would help. Or not. There's a pool. I'm feeling as cavalier about just jumping in random pools anymore. I actually feel like we're doing alright. We might win. I don't know if I want to risk jumping in a random pool. I don't think I do. I think it helped us out the one time. It gave us a dexterity, didn't it? But nonetheless, I don't think I want to do it. At least not right now. Let's grab this and drag it over to here. And this one. And drag it over to here. I don't know, for the record, I don't know if nullify traps in this version of the game, or even in Caverns 1 at all, will nullify a trap on a chest, say. It'll definitely work to like remove booby traps. Like if those crosswords are booby trap and we cast it sufficiently, it will get rid of that. It'll just delete the square. But I don't know if it'll work on a chest. Again, I know I'm drawing a lot of comparisons to the modern game, but that's part of the purpose of doing this series, is to look back and see how the game's evolved. In the modern game, if a chest is trapped, it's like the game knows that it's trapped in advance. And you can cast a spell to delete that trap or use disarming and all kinds of crap. But in this version of the game, I think it determined if it was trapped when you opened it. Like at that point, it rolled dice or picked its random numbers to see if the chest is trapped and sprung it. So I don't think nullify traps would prevent it from operating in that regard. So instead, we're going to use nullify traps right here. C. N. All traps around you have been disarmed. I've been fooled once. Let's try that again. Maybe. I'll try one more time. Alright, well, let's hope it's true. Oh, we found a map. That didn't do us much good. Alright, let's get that chest opened. Slide trap. Alright. We just didn't get the health potion, but so be it. And we got 50 gold pieces out of the chest as we slid by it. Aside from that health potion, we were done with that level anyway, so it could have been worse. How are we doing for time? 5-6 minutes. That is troglodyte. Warrior and a gremlin. The gremlin, if it hits us, can steal gold that we have, so we do not want to fight it right now. We want to make sure we deposit our gold in the temple before fighting that gremlin. I think it steals, you learn the undead destruction spell. That has a chance of, it's like death spell, but it only works on undead. And I assume it has a chance. The death spell, for all I know, also has a chance of working or not, like working or not, or working or failing. So we definitely want to raise our intelligence next so we have access to that spell. again, in Caverns 2, the death spell only has a 75% chance, I think, to work. I don't know what the chance is in this, or maybe it's 100. I think it was 100 in version 1.13, but I'm not sure of that. Might not have been. The gut instinct to me says the undead destruction has a 50% chance of working, but I don't know if that's true or if I've just made that up. It just feels like a nagging memory. Don't want to face him right now. Don't want to pick those up right now either. There we go. Now we can go kill that. Oh, okay. Intelligence. And we have the undead destruction spell if we want it. Not to mention the exchange spell, which we could cast to find out what it does. You know what I think it is, actually? I think it allows you to pull a point out of a given stat and put it into another stat. Like, I think it gives you the choice of, if you want to do that, what stat do you want to pull one out from and which stat do you want to put it in. If you've decided you want to change your build, I think, again, vague nagging memory, that might be what it does. If so, it doesn't sound altogether useful to me. But I suppose it might be if you just found a new spell saying, you're like, shit, I really need intelligence. Seems to me that's what it did. I probably just needed a spell I could cast with the letter X. And that's what I came up with at the time. We are an ass kicker with this longsword and scale mail. We are doing just fine. Thank you very much. Don't want to go down there yet. Let's kill him before we accidentally have gold and have to worry about him at that point. Grievous healing spell. What is that? How much does that cost to cast? 6. This again makes me think that probably was the 6th spell in Caverns 1. Caverns 1.13, pardon me. What is there any spell that costs 7? Nothing here, eh? So we don't know. Alright. Well, Grievous Healing, that's a great spell to have. We're doing alright, guys. We're going to take Intelligence again next so that we have access to that spell in case we need it. This game feels more balanced in terms of the choices you can make to level up versus 1.13. That said, I prefer 1.13. A, for the simplicity. B, for the nostalgia of how close it is to the original Vision. And C, because it at least had sound. And not half sound like this one has. Alright, let's go get this gold and look below. See if there's anything down here. See if there's anything beyond here as well, in case there's a strength potion or something. Nope. Worth checking. Let's get that last gold, then we'll go nullify traps a lot. Just in case. I don't trust it. As you can see, it's a random length of time that it does that garbly noise for you. Alright, it shouldn't be a trap. Plate mail armor. My god, we are doing alright. Let's grab the health. And let's head down a level. I'm pretty happy with how this is going. Where are we at in time? That's 30 minutes right there, guys. So I guess we're going to call it for the night. I'll be back tomorrow to continue this adventure and see if we can you know, we're doing pretty damn well. I'm pleased as punch, as it were. I'll probably take health next. And we're getting there, too. All right, I'm done for the night. Have a good one, guys. I hope you're enjoying this look back at Caverns of Xaskazien 1, version 2-ish. And, yeah, I'll talk to you soon. Let's do this proper. Let's queue to quit. Go down to quit to DOS, and we are out of there. Have a good one, guys.